So I had to go check out this 39 case size. Audemars Piguet released a number of impressive pieces, and this is definitely one of them. It uses the same AP caliber 2120 that made the original the icon that it is today. A design language that is born in the early 70s, and the polished surfaces are just some of the pointers that fits the tribute to the 1972 original. That, of course, if there is one that exists. Welcome back to Watch Society. I'm your host. My name is Rita. You know, I could visit the mall and I could show you guys different watches. I could visit every single boutique if that's what you guys want to see. But this channel is not about that. This channel is basically about watches that I like, watches that may interest you. And if you are also looking to visit this side of the world, the Middle East, whether it be Saudi or UAE or Oman or any of those countries, and want to get an idea where to pick them from, then you are definitely in the right YouTube channel. I handle so many high-end watches, but this is actually the first time that I get hands-on with the 15202 Ultra Thin. Let's get right into it. So this Ultra Thin basically was released in 2012, which is the same year that AP brought back their logo from a 12 o'clock position back to a 6 o'clock position, just like how it was on the original A series, the 5402, if you guys remember. But not only that, despite some of the changes on the look and feel, it also retains the same reference as the original 15202 instead of the 1502. It is only available in a bluish gray dial, see-through exhibition sapphire case back, comes in stainless steel and rose gold. The case, which is basically my favorite, measures at 39 mm by 8.1 thickness. This is the measurement on it, which is actually my favorite. It's got the smaller blue, or some call it the petite tapestry pattern, with white gold applied hour markers with a date function and no second hands. Not the best water depth, although it's a sporty watch. It's only about 50 meters, but let's be honest here for a second. You're not buying this watch to actually go work out with it. It's a vintage inspired luxury sport watch at its finest. I'm actually starting to understand why people say the Royal Oak Jumbo is the best luxury sport watch. So honestly speaking, I wouldn't just put it in the mix between a 5711 and a Rolex Daytona, but in my opinion, and I hope I don't get slated in the comment section for this, actually ranks a little bit higher. Here's 5 reasons why I actually think that this is the best sport looking luxury watch that you can buy today. It was a watch that saved AP during the quartz crisis. Several brands went bankrupt, AP needed a miracle and fast as well, and this is when Genta pulled it through and saved the company with the original A series Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Jumbo with the reference 1502 ST. That was of course unveiled in the 1972 Basel World Fair. It actually just hit me that Basel World existed even before 1972, and it just got pulled off last year. The octagonal bezel was of course unusual to say the least at the time, but nowadays of course it is considered iconic. The second reason, which is quite powerful and undeniable in my opinion, is that Audemars Piguet actually started the first luxury sport watch. I mean, they created a category for it on itself. Now, of course, Genta had his hands on with other brands as well and designed other complicated, sophisticated sport models like the IWC Ingenieur, French for engineer. But there is something powerful, of course, about saying that you were the first, that you led, you didn't follow. And would we have seen a 5711 Nautilus or a Vacheron Overseas without a Royal Oak? I mean, that's a big question. I really don't know, but all I know is that it inspired other brands.
It is 1921 American, so back then it's only for American market.
And gave them the confidence to fill into that category and start making their first luxury sport watches, whether it be in steel or gold or whatever it may be. Thirdly is the fact that they're actually very, very well made. From the minute you pick up a 15202, before you even put it on your wrist, before you even try it on, you will notice the quality of the construction right away. I mean, I had this watch for a little bit of time and it took me 2 seconds to understand exactly what I'm dealing with here. I mean, from the bracelet integrating into the case seamlessly, to the AP folding clasp making an eminently satisfying sound every time you click it into place. And of course, not to forget the flawless execution of the octagonal bezel. I mean, everything about it is literally well made. Timeless watch, the fact that the design hasn't been touched for decades, it still looks the same. Of course, they had different iteration and different kind of slight changes here and there, but overall, it's exactly the same and super comfortable as well. From my short experience trying it on and having it on the wrist for a few hours, it's a very, very comfortable watch. That's all I can tell you. I mean, from the modest 39mm case size, yet large enough where you can actually easily read the time and date. Slim enough also to discreetly slide under the cuff. I mean, I personally like the 39 case size. Generally, for a lot of people, of course, they would see that this is a small size for a sport watch. But for me, on this 15202, it definitely sits hybrid between, of course, the sporty watch that it is, but in the same time also more on the dressy side. I would rock this watch in a suit any time of the day. And lastly, at number 5, it is the given fact. As I said in number 4, it looks good on a suit, but it also looks good with everything. It's a prime example of a product that does not have to be fancy to turn heads. Of course, you have the brush finish on the case, giving it almost a utilitarian feel, but at the same time, you have the contrasting part of the bezel that hints a sense of sophistication, even to someone who doesn't know anything about AP or watches in general.